Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Tirye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. So continuing with our discussion on Canto 3, Chapter 19, we are starting today the killing of the demon Hiranyaksha. Text number 1 onwards. Maitreya Vacha Avdharya Virinchasya Nirvyalikamritam Vacha Prahasya Prema Garbhena Tadabhangena Suagrahit. Sri Maitreya said, after hearing the words of Brahma, the Creator, which were free from all sinful purposes, and as sweet as nectar, the Lord heartily laughed and accepted his prayer with a glance laden with love. So Brahmaji prayed to the Lord that these demons, they get their powers increase at the time of sunset, and that time is fast approaching. So please kill him right now. The word Nirvyalika is very significant. The prayers of the demigods or devotees of the Lord are free from all sinful purposes. But the prayers of demons are always filled with sinful purposes. The demon Hiranyaksha became powerful by deriving a boon from Brahma. And after attaining that boon, he created a disturbance because of his sinful intentions. The prayers of Brahma and other demigods are not to be compared to the prayers of the demons. Their purpose is to please the Lord. Therefore, the Lord smiled and accepted the prayer to kill the demon. Demons were never interested in praising the Supreme Personality of Godhead because they have no information of Him. Go to the demigods, and in Bhagavad Gita, this is condemned. Persons who go to the demigods and pray for advancement in sinful activities are considered to be bereft of all intelligence. So Brahmaji was praying to him that please kill this demon. Please, this is the time his powers are going to increase. So the Lord understood the real intent behind the prayers. This was for the service of the Lord, for His pleasure. And Prabhupada said, demons, on the other hand, when they pray, first of all, they don't pray to the Supreme Lord. And secondly, they pray to demigods, they do all kinds of tapasya, but the idea is to increase the sinful activities. Because the idea is they should get more and more money, power, prestige, whatever they want, and engage more and more in sinful activities. So the Lord is never pleased with the demons. Demons have lost all intelligence because they do not know what is actually their self-interest. Even if they have information of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they decline to approach Him. It's not possible for them to get the desired boons from the Supreme Lord because their purposes are always sinful. So the Supreme Lord will never fulfill their desires, will never fulfill their sinful desires or whatever benedictions they want from the Supreme Lord. They can only get it from demigods because demigods are bound to give them the results of their tapasya. But if Krishna hears the tapasya and hears their request, Krishna will still find a way not to give them the boon. It is said that the dacoits in Bengal used to worship the goddess Kali for fulfillment of their sinful desires, to plunder others' property. But they never went to a Vishnu temple because they might have been unsuccessful in praying to Vishnu. Therefore, the prayers of the demigods or the devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are always untinged by sinful purposes. Untinged by sinful. Even if a devotee asks for some kind of material benefits, maybe he might be in some kind of distress or whatever the reason may be. but he won't have any sinful purpose. Just like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, those who artho jigyasur artharthi jnani bharat rishabh. I mean, they should be considered pious, even if they have come to me because of artha, because of distress. Artharthi, they want money. Jigyasur, out of curiosity, or jnani, or the knowledge of. Even if they have come for all the material reasons, still they should be considered pious. Because artha means a distress. Gajendra was in distress when he approached the Lord. He never approached him for any sinful purpose. Artharthi, Dhruv Maharaj. Dhruv Maharaj is the example of Artharthi who approached the Lord with some really great material benefits he wanted. He wanted a kingdom even better than Lord Brahma. But he was never considered a sinful person. Because first of all, he wanted it. And then when he saw the Lord, he forgot everything. He said, I was looking for broken pieces of glass, but so now I got you. I got a full diamond. What do I need the broken pieces of glass for? And curious are the four Kumaras who just went to Vaikuntha. So four Kumaras cannot be considered as approaching the Lord with any sinful purpose. But the demons, on the other hand, first of all, they don't approach the Supreme Lord Vishnu. And secondly, when they go to demigods, they ask for all kinds of nonsense things. Tataha sapatnam muktashcharantam akuto bhayam jaganoti patya gadya anavasuram akshajaha. The Lord who had appeared from the nostril of Brahma sprang and aimed his mace at the chin of his enemy, the Hiranyaksha demon, who was stalking fearlessly before him. Sahata tena gadya vihata bhagvat karat vighurni tapat dreje tadadbhutam iva bhavat. Struck by the demon's mace, however, the Lord's mace slipped from his hand and looked splendid as it fell down whirling. This was miraculous, for the mace was blazing wonderfully. So Hiranyaksha also, the Lord approached him with his mace pointing at his chin, but Hiranyaksha not only dodged Lord's mace, but he hit him back. He hit him back so hard, the Lord's mace slipped from his hand and it fell down. Amazing fight going on. So tada labdha tirtho api na bhavadhe nirayudham manyan samridhe dharmam vishwaksenam prakopayan. Even though the demon had an excellent opportunity to strike his unarmed foe without obstruction, he respected the law of single combat, thereby kindling the fury of the Supreme Lord. Means when the Lord's mace fell down, the demon waited for the Lord to pick up the mace and start fighting again. He didn't attack unarmed Supreme Lord. Gadayam apavidhayam hahakare vinirgate manyamasa dharmam sunabham chasmarad vibhu. As the Lord's mace fell to the ground and a cry of alarm arose from the witnessing crowd of gods and rishis, the personality of Godhead acknowledged the demon's love of righteousness and therefore invoked his Sudarshan Chakra. So the mace fell down and the rishis and demigods, they were crying, and Lord, he acknowledged that Hiranyaksha didn't hit him when the Lord was unarmed. So the Lord invoked his Sudarshan Chakra. And Sudarshan is always ready to serve the Lord. He just waits for the Lord to invoke him. Tam vyagra chakram ditiputra dhamena swaparshad mukhenam shajjamanam chitra vacho atad vidam khecharanam tatra smasan swasti teamam jahiti. As a discus began to revolve in the Lord's hands and the Lord contented at close quarters with the chief of his Vaikuntha attendants, who had been born as Hiranyaksha, a wild son of Diti. There issued from every direction strange expressions uttered by those who were witnessing from airplanes. They had no knowledge of the Lord's reality, and they cried, may victory attend you. Pray, dispatch him. Play no more with him. So the Lord was standing there with a Sudarshan Chakra in his hand. And Sudarshan Chakra is spinning at great speed. And then the Vishnu from his Vaikuntha, other associates were there, other servants were there, and they're praying to the Lord, please kill him right now. Satam nishamyat tatha nishamyat tarathangamag agrato vyavastitam padma palashalochanam vilokya chamash pariplite indriyo rusha swadanta danta chadamam adashvasan. When the demon saw the personality of Godhead, who had eyes just like lotus petals, standing in position before him, armed with a Sudarshan discus, his senses were overpowered by indignation. He began to hiss like a serpent, and he bit his lip in great resentment. So he was getting angry now. Karala danshtrash chakshurbhyam sanjakshano dahanniva abhiplutya swagadya hatuvasiti ahannadharim. The demon who had fearful tusks stared at the personality of Godhead as though to burn him. Springing into the air, he aimed his mace at the Lord, exclaiming at the same time, "You are slain now." Pada savyantam sadhu bhagwan yagya sukaraha lilya mishataha shatro prahrad vataram hasam. O saintly Vidura, while his enemy looked on, the Lord in his bold form, the enjoyer of all sacrificial offerings, playfully knocked down the mace with his left foot, even as it came upon him with the force of a tempest. So because in the right hand he was holding the Sudarshan Chakra, so with this left, and Lord's mace was already on the ground or in the water. So he, with his left foot, he just playfully knocked down the mace of Hiranyaksha. Aha chayudham adhatva ghatasvatam jagishasi iti ukta satada bhuyas tadyan vyandad bhrisham. The Lord then said, "Take up your weapon and try again, eager as you are to conquer me." Challenged in these words, the demon aimed his mace at the Lord and once more loudly roared. So, since Hiranyaksha's mace fell down, the Lord also told him, "Okay, you pick it up and again fight with me." So, the demon, when he heard that, he picked up his mace and again he aimed at the Lord and was going to hit him. Tamsa apatitim vikshya bhagwan samavasthita jagraha lilya praptam garutmanav pannagim. When the Lord saw the mace flying toward him, he stood firmly where he was and caught it with the same ease as Garuda, the king of birds, would seize a serpent. Swapaurushe pratihate hatmanu mahasuraha nachadgatam diyamanam harina vigat prabha. His valor thus frustrated, the great demon felt humiliated and was put out of countenance. He was reluctant to take back the mace when it was offered by the personality of Godhead. So Varahadev just took the mace from Hiranyaksha very easily, like Garuda when he takes up any snake. And then he offered it back to Hiranyaksha. "No, you take it and play, fight with me." But Hiranyaksha felt humiliated. Jagraha tirishikam shulam jwalo lolupam yagyaya dhrita rupaya vipraya bicharanyatha. He now took a trident which was as rapacious as a flaming fire and hurled it against the Lord, the enjoyer of all sacrifices, even as one would use penance for a malevolent purpose against a holy Brahman. So he hurled the trident towards the Lord. And the Lord is who? He is the enjoyer of all sacrifices, not the enjoyer of all these tridents. But this was like a ahuti going towards the Lord. तदोजसा दैत्य महाभटार्पितम चका सदंतख उदीर्ण दीधति चक्रेण छिच्छेद निशांत नेमिना हरिर यथा तार्क्ष्य पत्रम उज्झितम. Hurled by the mighty demon with all his strength, the flying trident shone brightly in the sky. The personality of Godhead, however, tore it to pieces with this discus Sudarshan, which had a sharp-edged rim, even as Indra cut off a wing of Garuda. So Hiranyaksha threw the trident, and Lord sent a Sudarshan Chakra, and Sudarshan Chakra just tore the trident into pieces. The context of the reference given herein regarding Garuda and Indra is this. Once upon a time, Garuda, the carrier of the Lord, snatched away a nectar pot from the hands of the demigods in heaven in order to liberate his mother, Vinata, from the clutches of his stepmother, Kadru, the mother of the serpents. On learning of this, Indra, the king of heaven, hurled his thunderbolt against Garuda with a view to respect the infallibility of Indra's weapon. Garuda, though otherwise invincible, being the Lord's own mount, dropped one of his wings, which was shattered to pieces by the thunderbolt. The inhabitants of higher planets are so sensible that even in the process of fighting, they observe the preliminary rules and regulations of gentleness. In this case, Garuda wanted to show respect for Indra, since he knew that Indra's weapon must destroy something. He offered his wing. So I don't know the whole story, whatever Prabhupada is mentioning here. So he took the pot of nectar from the demigods. I guess it must be after this churning of the ocean when they got the nectar. So he wanted to liberate his mother Vinata from the clutches of his stepmother Kadru. So I don't know what was the fight between Vinata and Kadru. But anyway, when he was taking this part of nectar, Indra hurled his thunderbolt because the demigods wanted the nectar. Although Garudji was invincible, but he still he dropped one of his wings for the thunderbolt to come and destroy it as a mark of respect for Indra and the thunderbolt. Vrikle swashule bahudharina hare pratyetya vistirna muro vibhutimat pravriddha rosha sakathora mushtina nadan prahatyanta antardhiyata suraha. The demon was enraged when his trident was cut to pieces by the discus of the personality of Godhead. He therefore advanced towards the Lord and, roaring aloud, struck his hard fist against the Lord's broad chest, which bore the mark of Shrivatsa. Then he went out of sight. Shrivatsa is a curl of white hair on the chest of the Lord, which is a special sign of his being the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Vaikuntha Loka or in Golok Vrindavan, the inhabitants are exactly of the same form as the personality of Godhead. But by his Shrivatsa mark on the chest of the Lord, he is distinguished from all others. So Shrivatsa is a curl of white hair. So few white hair are there on the chest of the Lord. So Shri Vatsa, so where it represents Lakshmi Ji actually. So Lakshmi Ji is sitting on the chest of the Lord. So that's one of the differences between the Lord and the other inhabitants in Vaikuntha. Tenetham ahata kshattar bhagwanadi sukaraha nakampat manakvapi srijahat iv dvipaha. Hit in this manner by the demon, O Vidura, the Lord who had appeared as a first boar did not feel the least quaking in any part of his body, any more than an elephant would when struck with a wreath of flowers. So although the demon hit him with his full force on his chest, Lord didn't even feel anything. As previously explained, the demon was originally a servitor of the Lord in Vaikuntha, but somehow or other he fell as a demon. His fight with the Supreme Lord was meant for his liberation. The Lord enjoyed the striking on his transcendental body, just like a fully grown up father fighting with his child. Sometimes a father takes pleasure in having a mock fight with a small child. And similarly, the Lord felt Hiranyaksha's striking on his body to be like flowers offered for worship. In other words, the Lord desired to fight in order to enjoy his transcendental bliss. Therefore, he enjoyed the attack. Not just enjoyed, first he let Hiranyaksha attack him, and he enjoyed the attack and enjoys this punch by Hiranyaksha. Although it didn't do any damage or any botheration to the Lord. अधोर अथोरुधासृजन् मायं योगमायेश्वरे हरो यां विलोक्य प्रजा सृष्टा मेनिरेयस्योपसंयमम्. The demon, however, employed many conjuring tricks against the personality of Godhead, who is the Lord of Yogamaya. At the sight of this, the people were filled with alarm and thought that the dissolution of the universe was near. So after hitting the Lord, Hiranyaksha just disappeared. And he was doing these tricks more and more. The fighting enjoyment of the Supreme Lord with his devotee, who had been converted into a demon, appeared severe enough to bring about the dissolution of the universe. This is the greatness of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even the wavering of his little finger appears to be a great and very dangerous moment in the eyes of the inhabitants of the universe. And here a whole fight was going on between two very powerful opponents. Pravavur Vayash Chandastama Pansvarvamarian Digbhyo Nipetur Gravana Kshepnah Prahita Iva. Fierce winds began to blow from all directions, spreading darkness, occasioned by dust and hailstorms. The stones came in volleys from every corner as if thrown by machine guns. So this was all created by Hiranyaksha. Dyor nashti bhagana bhrodgha savidyus stanyitna bhi varshadbhi puya keshasrig venumutra sthini cha sakrit. The luminaries in outer space disappeared due to skies being overcast with masses of clouds, which are accompanied by lightning and thunder. The sky rained pus, hair, blood, stool, urine, and bones. Girya prati drishyanta nana yudham ucho nagha digvasaso yatu dhanya shulinyo muktamurdhaja. O sinless Vidura, mountains discharged weapons of various kinds, and naked demonesses armed with tridents appeared with their hair hanging loose. Just imagine the scene. I mean, it was happening from all directions. Bahubhir yaksha rakshobhi patyashvar ratkunjarah atatai bhir utsrishta hinsra vachoti vaishasah. Cruel and savage slogans were uttered by hosts of ruffian yakshas and rakshasas who all either marched on foot or rode on horses, elephants, or chariots. And this is all tricks conjured up by Hiranyaksha. Pradushkritanam mayanam asurinam vinashayat sudarshanastram bhagavan prayam daitam tripat. The Lord, the personal enjoyer of all sacrifices, now discharged his beloved Sudarshan, which was capable of dispersing the magical forces displayed by the demon. Even famous yogis and demons can sometimes enact very magical feats by the mystic power. But in the presence of the Sudarshan Chakra, when it is let loose by the Lord, All such magical jugglery is dispersed. The instance of the quarrel between Durvasa Muni and Maharaj Ambrish is a practical example in this matter. Durvasa Muni wanted to display many magical wonders, but when Sudarshan Chakra appeared, Durvasa himself was afraid and fled to various planets for his personal protection. The Lord is described here as three-path, which means that he is the enjoyer of three kinds of sacrifices. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord confirms that he is the beneficiary and enjoyer of all sacrifices, penances, and austerities. The Lord is the enjoyer of three kinds of yajna, as further described in Bhagavad Gita. There are sacrifices of goods, sacrifices of meditation, and sacrifices of philosophical speculation. Those on the paths of jnana, yoga, and karma all have to come in the end to the Supreme Lord because Vasudeva Sarvamiti. The Supreme Lord is the ultimate enjoyer of everything. That is the perfection of all sacrifice. So the demon was conjuring up with so many different things. There's all his mystic powers he had because of the penances. But he didn't understand. The Lord is the enjoyer of all the sacrifices, all the austerities, all the penances, not him. So what the Lord did, he sent his Sudarshan Chakra to just disperse all this magical jugglery. So that is why his name is Sudarshan. Sudarshan means who gives beautiful darshan. Oh, he clears up all the darshan, all nonsense things. He clears it up. That's why his name is Sudarshan. So anyway, we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments. Okay, so we will stop here. You all have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri.
Thank you, Prabhuji.